A slew of actions regarding transgender Americans, including an order declaring the U.S. will only recognize a person's sex assigned at birth.
Groups here in the Capital Region gathering at the Capitol today, speaking out against some of the new policy changes. News 10 ABC's Anthony Krolikowski joining us live in the studio with more on that story. Anthony.
Trishna and Casey, one of the executive orders signed by President Trump was to cut federal funding for gender transition treatments, specifically for people younger than 19. But this order was met with a temporary restraining order from a federal court, blocking any sort of funding freeze. Here's how local communities are reacting.
Trans rights, human rights, trans rights, human rights.
LGBTQ members from across the state met at the Capitol to protest President Trump's executive orders. Inside and outside of the New York government hub, they had a message for officials.
Us in New York State should be leading to protect the most marginal, vulnerable communities, and that includes the transgender community.
Gender-affirming medical care was one of the many services restricted in the executive orders. Anyone under 19 who receives transition treatment like hormones or puberty blockers that's funded through the federal government would no longer be able to do so. That's something the trans community swears to be life-saving.
Gender-affirming hormone therapy reduced suicide ideations by 40% among trans and non-binary youth.
Attorney General Letitia James, along with 22 other states across the country, filed a lawsuit that led to the injunction. In a letter to hundreds of recipients of federal funding, she wrote, withholding the availability of services from transgender individuals based on their gender identity or their diagnosis of gender dysphoria, while offering such services to cisgender individuals is discrimination under law. I reached out to Capital Region medical providers to see if they are still providing gender-affirming care, like Albany Med. In a statement, the communications team told me only that we are continuing to monitor and assess the developing situation. I also reached out to those who support the president's executive order. Republican Albany County legislator Paul Bergdorf told me that, quote, federal tax dollars should not be spent on gender reassignment surgery and sex change treatment for minors, period. Reporting live in studio, Anthony Krolikowski, News 10 ABC.